Good afternoon and welcome to the Valley today. It's Monday. We're ready to start the week off right. And I have got one of the most motivated people I know, Sean Lucas. You are here to talk about bikes for TIkes. Welcome, my friend.
Good afternoon, Norma. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Let's see. You were here last year, and we just had a little newsmaker segment. You did a little bitty story on the news at noon. That's all we had time to squeeze you in. And you did a pretty amazing thing. But you're going to have the whole half hour to talk about bikes for TIkes. For people who don't know, you started a bike drive and you put together, some people donated, but you got bikes, new bikes, and assembled them for kids at Christmas time who did not have a bike.
Yes, ma'am. We bought and assembled 74 bicycles for needy kids, and we donated through Toys for Tots out of Winchester, the Lewis B. Puller division.
And now you are on to bigger and better, because 74 is a small number compared to what you hope to do this year.
Yeah, we're hoping to double that number in the Valley this year. And ideally, when you get to numbers like that, then we can extend our reach beyond the Shenandoah Valley, maybe even out of Virginia. For example, we're building bikes this year in Chicago, Illinois, Birmingham, Alabama, and Greenville, South Carolina. Not with the donations from here, mind you, but donations from down there, people that I've reached out to, people that our stories touched, and that have started drives of their own.
And, of course, you do travel for your job, so you're in these cities. You didn't just throw some darts on a map and say, well, I think I'll go build some bikes.
No, ma'am. No, down there made some friends. They found out some of the things we've been doing over the years. A company by the name of Wave Online out of Chicago took up the mantle and said, hey, you know what, we're going to raise money. The employees are going to donate money. And the company said, you know what, we'll match it.
Well, you know, when people see someone doing a good job for the right reason, it certainly makes other people want to donate and to help out. And I remember talking to you last year. Share a story about when you rode a bike and how it felt and why you wanted to donate. It just is very touching. Sure.
Well, it all goes back, right? So we just go back to where this really started, which is about 18 years ago. I have an 18-year-old daughter, and Christmas morning, her first year, of course, she was born in September, so her first year she was kind of a blob, but her second year, her eyes were big and wide with the Christmas tree and her toys and her first bike when she was that age. And I looked down at her, and I got to thinking about how my dad felt and what he could give us, and maybe there were dads out there that couldn't do the same things for their kids, and how would that feel? And I said, I think maybe we can do better than this. And then I ran across a friend of mine who I've mentioned before, Frank, who was a barber in Manassas, and of course the best one in Manassas, mind you, but he was collecting toys for Tots, and he wasn't having any luck. So we started raising money, and we started building bikes, and we started donating bikes, and then somebody said to us, well, why bikes? All right, why bikes is the question I always get, because there's so many good charities out there. There's so many good opportunities to, you know, coats for kids and food for hungry kids, and those are great charities. But this thing, the reason we do bikes is because it's simple. It's one word. It's freedom. It's an emotion. It's a feeling. It's a thing that people fight for, people die for. It's the thing our country was founded on. And so whenever anybody asks me, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, right? Freedom, the first feeling of freedom you get is getting on that bike. And it's heading down a hill and the wind in your hair and the basket on the front of the bike if you're a little girl. Boys like baskets too, right? But it's the sticking the card in your spokes and making it sound like a motorcycle. It's taking off to your friend's house because you can. Those things aren't possible. That's your first bike. And if I can help a kid get that feeling and feel freedom and know that that's something worth living for, worth fighting for, worth dying for, we're better off for it.
And I'm sure that people respond to you, Sean, in such a positive way because I think most of us can relate to having a bike and how that felt. You're exactly right. You got the wind at your back and your hair's flying in the wind, and even though you have a helmet on.
Ideally.
But, yes, ideally. But it's such a simple idea, but it's such a great idea. I imagine that the parents of some of these kids have had some wonderful words for you.
Yeah, they have. So we did this. And there's a video I'm getting ready to post to our website, and of course we'll talk about the website here in a minute. But there's a video I'm going to post to the website where one of the things we did back in 2000 or 2001, we had a party with Toys for Tots. And this is actually pretty tough for me to talk about, but we had a party for Toys for Tots that I attended, and I watched them give my bikes away. And one of the little boys that got a bike came up and pulled on my coat. I had a waist-length coat, like a trench coat kind of thing on, and he grabbed my coat and he pulled on it. And I looked down and I said, "Hi, can I get you a piece of pizza? Can I get you?" And he said, "Mr. Toys for Tots, thank you for bringing me Christmas."
No.
and I had to leave the room. I had to walk away.
So, that really is what it's all about. It's about bringing Christmas to kids. And I know that some of the other organizations do other things for kids. And like you said, summer coat drives. Some will bring a basket of food so that you can have a meal at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But this is just all about bikes for kids who don't have bikes. So we'll take a short break here, and we'll come back and let people know how they can help. We'll be back to the Valley Today right after this. Weekend
Miller for the Valley Today.
Welcome back to the Valley Today. I'm Norma Jean Shaw. If you're just tuning in, missed a portion of the program, you can always go to our website, theriver953online.com. Click the On Demand tab, find the program you'd like to listen to. You can download it there. In addition to the Valley Today, you'll find the News at Noon, Education Watch, and a whole lot more. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/theriver953. Now back to the conversation with Mr. Bicycle Man, Sean Lucas. He has a great website for you, bikesfortikes.net, and it's TIkes is TIkes. Is that correct, Mr. Lucas?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Well, if you are just joining us now, then you've missed out on a great conversation so far, because this guy is challenging folks all around the area to help him in a drive to purchase and build new bikes for kids this Christmas season.
Yes, ma'am. So that's kind of the challenge that we're throwing out there is help us, right? Help us spread the word, help us build bikes, help us deliver these bikes. We're building bikes on December 19th at the Front Royal Moose Lodge at 5 p.m. They've been gracious enough to offer us space once again and help us get this done. But the challenge really is, first, share it, right? We want people to know about what we're doing, and the reason why we want them to know about what we're doing is because as important as it is to raise a buck, because we can't buy a bike without a buck, that's a big deal. But if people don't know about it, the people that need us can't find us.
Exactly. And I believe last year you had people coming out of the woodwork, I need a bike, or I know a kid who might need a bike. And a special thank you to the Moose Club, because they just opened their doors and their hearts, and you had a big old bike building party.
We did, and that actually goes back to how this got started again, because I've been doing this on and off for 18 years. Mm-hmm. And, obviously, how I got started with my daughter, but we stopped for a few years when I moved back out to Front Royal because, Frank and I had gone our separate ways.
Sure.
And I got out here, and I bought a bike for my 11-year-old son. They send us 2 bikes for Christmas. I said, I don't want 2 bikes. I need to give one of these back. They wouldn't take it. So what did I do? I went on Facebook. I said, I've got a bike. I need a needy kid. I got 8. So I had to go buy 7 more bikes because my wife, who's in the studio with us right now, looked at me and said, do what you got to do.
Yeah. And you did try to do the right thing, knock on wood.
I did.
You said, look,
I tried to give it back.
Look, big box company, you sent me 2 bikes, take one back. No, it's yours. We didn't do that. So what a wonderful thing you did, because they stupidly refused to take their own merchandise back.
They had no idea. They sent it to me for whatever reason. And you know what? That's probably fate stepping in some way.
Yeah.
So to the town, the community that supported us, we are so thankful. We're so grateful to be a part of this community. But what we're saying is, give us a hand. You guys want to get involved? This company in Chicago, Wave Online, that I mentioned, the employees are raising money, and the company's going to match it. And I'm going to go out there on December 7th, and we're going to build bicycles. I'm going to help them build those bikes, and we're going to give them to kids in Chicago. We can do that right here at home. If a company wants to get involved and they want to raise money, they want to build some bikes, I'll show up. I'll come to your build party, and we'll build bikes.
There you go. We have thrown the gauntlet down. So a lot of times people think, well, okay, we have this money, we'll have the Christmas party, and Fred will get up on the desk and get drunk and dance with the lampshade. Maybe you don't want to see Fred with the lampshade. Think outside the box. Maybe take the money you might have spent on a Christmas party that you really don't want to go to. Maybe have a bike drive. Put together a few bikes and send them on. Pay it forward. Do something different.
And, they can log into your Facebook page and see a picture of me and see how good I would look in a lampshade.
There you go. That's right. We have posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com, the River 953, a picture of Sean Lucas sitting here getting ready to talk to me. So if you have any questions you want to pose to him, information to pass on, then you can hop on the Facebook page and send him a message, and we'll certainly make sure that he answers your question. But his website is bikesfortikes.net, and it's Tikes, Tikes. And you did how many bikes last year?
We did 74 bikes last year, and actually I got 2 more on Christmas Eve, the day was done. So I've got actually starting at 2 this year. I've got 2 sitting in my garage, brand new, ready to go. The last request that I got last year was after we were done, after I'd built all the bikes and donated them. I had a young lady come to me on Facebook, and she said she had nothing for her daughter the next morning. I looked at my wife, and my wife said, "Do what you got to do." And
she says that a lot.
we went to the store, and I bought another bike, and I built another bike, and I donated it to her, and we're still friends on Facebook today. So I hope she's listening, and I hope that little girl's having the time of her life.
You are a good person.
Some days.
Okay. Well, you do what you got to do, according to Mrs. Lucas. So, but truly, because of just a little fate stepping in and you getting an extra bike, it caused you to pick up a project that you've been doing off and on for 18 years. And over 70 kids had really happy Christmases last year. So thanks to you and all the volunteers who helped you with that. So why don't we take a short break here, and we'll come back and spend our final moments talking about Bikes for Tikes and how your company can help Sean Lucas get bikes donated, built, and out to kids who might need them. Part of economic development is having a strong workforce.
The Valley Today.
Welcome back to the Valley Today. I'm Norma Jean Shaw, wrapping up a show with Sean Lucas. We've got a few minutes left to talk to the Bikes for Tikes dude. That's you. Will you take that title?
I'll take it.
The headmeister of the Bikes for Tikes.
I call myself Head Elf.
Head Elf. I wonder what Mrs. Lucas over there would call you, but she decided to just observe and not talk today. Maybe we'll get her another time. And I do want to give a little shout out to your daughter. She's been on the show before. She's very involved with DECA. So how's she doing? She's
doing great. She's in her first year at LFCC, and she's desperate to be involved in collegiate DECA, but Dad won't let her right now. He's more worried about grades. So.
Well. Well, we'll see how the semester wraps up, and then maybe Caitlin Watson will shine in DECA once again, because she went down to Florida. That was a big deal.
2 trips to nationals. Again, due in part thanks to this community we're a part of, so I can't say enough nice things. So, we had talked a little bit about how, right at the break, you and I were talking about how people can, if they're listening and they need help from us, how can they get help from us? And that's through Toys for Tots. So if you reach out to me on Facebook, if you reach out to me online, I'm going to hook you up with Jim Wolf out at Toys for Tots. That way we can make sure that we've got a nice running list of everybody we need to get help to. So by all means, if you reach out, don't be upset. If I forward you on, I'm forwarding you on so we can keep track of you. So.
Sure, and that's a way to keep everything streamlined, because you're too busy dealing with trying to get bikes donated, get people involved in assembling those bikes. You're not a keeping records kind of guy.
It's pretty hard.
You're too busy with the screwdriver and the wrench and all that kind of thing.
It is, and I tell people all the time, so the hardest thing we do whenever we're doing this is raise money. Mm-hmm. The second hardest thing I do, and the thing that takes the longest, is buying bikes. And the third hardest thing I do, which is actually the best part and it's the easiest part, is turning a wrench. And what I tell people is, if you're not busy on December 19th and you don't want to turn a wrench and you just want to feel really good about life, come on out to the Moose Lodge and find out what it is that we do. Because if you're not a believer, I promise you will be.
Well, that's certainly true. So there are a number of ways that folks can help. Of course, they can contribute financially. They can help build a bike. Let's talk about folks, if they want to contribute some finances, how could they do that?
So through our website, bikesfortikes.net, that's TIkes, bikesfortikes.net. Upper right-hand corner is a donate link. They can donate via PayPal. They don't ever have to see my smiling mug if they don't want to. We have a P.O. Box. That's P.O. Box 441, Front Royal, Virginia, 22630. And right now, if you're making out a check, that check is to Sean or Nikki Lucas. That's us at this time. So now, let's say you don't want to donate money. Let's say you want to buy a bike and you want to bring a bike. I'd love it. All I care about is that kids get bikes. So bring that bike, pick it up from whatever store you want to pick it up from, and bring it to the front Royal Moose Lodge. You can drop it off in the social quarters. You can drop it off in front of the building. It just has to be brand new. Why? Because everything I do goes to Toys for Tots, and Toys for Tots needs new unwrapped gifts at Christmas. So as much as I'd love to take used stuff, that would be so cool, I just can't. I don't have anywhere to put them. So if we could, get new bikes, that's great. Bring us a bike. It doesn't have to be money. But again, some people don't have money, and some people still want to help. Come help us turn a wrench. Come help us serve cookies and cocoa to people that are turning wrenches. Or just come on by and share a message, right? Let us know. Somebody we can help. That's just as good to me as giving me $1.
Sure. And, it always goes back to that saying, it takes a village. It really does. And I know that from you getting one extra bike shipped to you, that you've created a whole village who care about these kids and want to make sure that they have a bike, and that's a blessing to the community. And the Moose Club has just, or Lodge rather, has just.
The Moose is out of this world. Yeah. They support every crazy harebrained scheme I come up with to help people. They're always helping out. But the other thing is, I didn't just create one thing or one person. I created 74 because there's 74 parents out there. Mm-hmm. That their child got some help, and every time I do this, somebody reaches out to me with a story about their child or their 3 children who got bikes and had a Christmas, and they got to see that look in their eyes on Christmas morning, or better yet, their hair flying as they went flying down the hill. So we're doing a video for the website right now, which is stories.
Oh, so you're making...
Yeah, we're making a video about stories, and it's more than that, right? We're going to some senior citizens. Tell us about your first bike, right? And we're going to kids. Tell us what you like about your bike. And some of these videos I've got are fantastic. Well, so they're going to be so cool.
That is so cool. I can almost see a book coming out of this.
It would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? And the downside, though, is that it seems like everybody wants me to tell me a story about how they wrecked their bike. And I'm like, don't do that. No. You got to tell me a story. You got to tell me a good one.
My sister has a good one, road rash and all, but we won't go there. But, and the stories that you're talking about, Sean, those kinds of things really do change a life. I think sometimes about some of the people that I went to school with, and there were some kids who had very little and just had a rough time at holiday times, and how just a little bit of change made so much good. And I dare say that giving a bike to some kids, especially when they're kids and they still, have that belief that life is good and the world is good, I'm guaranteeing that you are changing lives for the better for these kids.
1 degree changes in short distances are nothing, but over the long haul, they're very, very large.
Yeah.
So 1 degree change is perfectly fine by me.
So you have it straight from the bike builder's mouth. It is definitely a worthwhile project. Bikes for TIkes. You can learn more at the website bikesfortikes.net. It's TIkes.
Also Facebook, at Facebook/Valley Bikes for TIkes.
Okay, and if you're interested in donating, you can donate money, you can donate a new bike, you can go to the build, which is on what day at the Moose Lodge?
December 19th at 5 p.m. And the other thing that we love that I forgot to mention, I know we're running out of time, bikes and wagons. I love bikes and wagons because little kids can't ride bikes, but they love getting pulled in a wagon. So one of my favorite things to do near the end, as I'm running out of space to put bikes, is I do bikes, wagons, and scooters. So bikes, wagons, scooters, bicycles, trikes. That stuff's awesome. But I tell you what, on build day, if you're going to come help me build bikes, avoid the big wheels. They're so tough to put together. They're the one everybody hates.
That is certainly some valuable news. My kids are grown, but at some point there'll be grandchildren, and I'm never going to help build. I'll be happy to buy, and I will play with them, but I am not going to build a big wheel.
Oh, it's an art form, and we actually do have a quality control line. We have a build line. We have somebody in charge of cookies and cocoa. We got somebody in charge of pizza. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it's a beautiful thing. Why don't you hit us again with those websites?
Certainly. It's www.bikesfortikes.net, and we also have facebook.com/Valley Bikes for TIkes. Or you can just hit me up. My name's Sean Lucas. I don't hide from anybody. So if you guys want to talk to me, come find me.
There you go. That'll do it for another edition of The Valley Today. We've been listening to Sean Lucas talking about Bikes for TIkes. And over in the corner, Mrs. Lucas, who says, do what you got to do, but she didn't say it on mic today. We will have another brand new show for you tomorrow. Thanks a bunch for tuning in this afternoon. I'm Norma Jean Shaw. Have a great day.